Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay for sure under pressure. WTLC AM, W236CR Indianapolis, the home for Indy's favorite gospel music, ministries, community discussions, and more. We are Praise AM 1310, 95.1 FM, Indy's inspiration station. The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio 1, WTLC AM 1310, 95.1 FM, and its management. All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's show, Unity in the Community. I'm your host, Pastor James Jackson, lead pastor for Fervent Prayer Church here in the beautiful city of Indianapolis. Glad to be with you on this beautiful afternoon in Indianapolis. It's hot today, but it's beautiful out. Enjoy these hot summer days as much as you can, because as you know, things are going to be changing here in just a few weeks. It'll be headed in the other direction. This is one of my most favorite times of the year when spring starts back in March, all the way up to about June 2021, when there's the first day of summer. And of course, that is when the days start getting shorter. If you've noticed, the days start getting shorter, and we're headed towards the fall season. So enjoy every day of the summer. Stay as cool as you can. There are all kinds of different apparatuses online that you can purchase to keep yourself cool and just enjoy what's happening in our community. Headed downtown on today from rebounding class, which I do that almost every Saturday. You know, they say never miss a Monday. I almost never missed a Saturday out at the rebounding class on the specialized rebounding boots. Easy on your joints, good for your lymphatic system, lots of sweat, and it's just overall good for your body, especially if you're north of 40 and you're looking for something really nice to do that you could do for the rest of your life. Rebounding. Now, when you first start rebounding, it's a little challenging because you got to get balanced on the boots. But with all of the falls that take place, and you've ever been to the hospital to visit somebody, they have on the doors now fall risk. And a lot of our seniors have this challenge too. In fact, my mother, who fell last December, broke her kneecap into, but she's doing really well. She's back to work, almost 100% walking. Kneecap has healed. They had to put a couple screws in there, but didn't have to replace it. They used the original material, and she is doing very, very well. But for folks who are recovering from injuries like that, the rebounding boots were created because you've probably seen them. And in fact, you're going to see them at the Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration on Saturday. Sin City, that's CYN, Sin City Bounce. And that is a wonderful, we have several women who are doing bounce classes in the city of Indianapolis. Cynthia Robinson is one that I have known for quite some time. She's going to be doing and being a part of the fitness segment at the summer celebration this year, 10:30 to 11:30 in the fitness pavilion. And I'll be down there participating in that as well. But rebounding is great. And I've been doing it for a number of years. And last year I added in a 5K a day to that. Lost a lot of weight. Had to kind of pull back on all that because my hamstrings were not quite ready for it. And I found out that if you're going to be doing all that walking, jogging, rebounding, cycling, that you have to also do something else that is akin to eating asparagus. broccoli, and the things like that that you probably don't like eating. And that's flexibility, that's stretching. Most folks don't like stretching, but it is so critically important. But anyway, that's going to be taking place. Cynthia Robinson is going to be leading that effort. It's a citywide rebounding class. It's going to be taking place on next Saturday, 10:30 to 11:30. Check out Summer Celebration Indiana Black Expo website for more information. Thank you, Amp Harris, for help to make that happen. Before we get into the rest of today's show, I always like to start out when I can remember talking about fitness because you are your best healthcare provider. Nobody can take care of you like you. And with all the changes that are taking place now, and we have President Trump for at least another 3 years and the rest of this year. And I suspect because he is such a worker, I mean, he works constantly and always doing something. And there are people who have that kind of work ethic. You can expect that we're going to see a whole lot of things happen over the next 3 years and 6 or 5 months that's left in that administration. But you are your best healthcare provider. Nobody can take care of you like you. You determine what you drink, what you eat, and just a few changes, 15 to 30 minutes of walking, jogging, rebounding, a little bit of strength training in there. You can use your own body weight too. Planks. You can Google planks, go on YouTube University, if you will. Everything is there. And see if you can do 30 seconds to a minute of planks. It is more difficult than you might think, but it will change your body because when you're planking, Planking, you are using your own body weight. That's tremendous resistance and it's strengthening your core. I talked about the rebounding. When you get balanced on the boots, if you do trip over your own feet, as it were, a lot of seniors that fall do not get up. And when I say they do not get up, thousands of seniors fall in America and die. I'm grateful that my mother was not among that number. But there are countless thousands of others who fall, and it translates into billions of dollars into rehabilitation, medication, surgeries, and all kinds of things like that. So, rebounding can help you to become more balanced. There's some other exercises. If you wear an Apple Watch, like I do, you might not be fully utilizing its potential. It helps to monitor your steps and tell you when you are not in balance. It will let you know when you're not walking like you should be walking, and that's when you need to be putting more concern and time and effort into getting balance. So there's a lot of tools out there to help you. And if you don't like Apple Watches and electronics, there are exercises you can do. YouTube University, you can put in the search field exercises for balanced seniors, and it'll have all kinds of exercises to help you stay on your feet. Because that's the key. That's the key. As we get older, we have challenges with agility. We have challenges with staying on our feet. And the problem with falling is we become a little bit more brittle as we get older. That's just part of life. And if you fall, you could break something, and you don't want to do that. So, staying on your feet is the key. But planks will help you to do that. It will strengthen your core. Rebounding will help you to do that. I go every Saturday for a whole hour. And when I'm out on a sunny day like this, someone commented, "Well, you're not sweating." We were standing out doing something. They said, "You're not sweating." I said, "Well, I'm out here walking and rebounding and jogging." And another great place for walking is the Fort Ben Harrison Trail. And that trail, the asphalt trail, I'm not talking about going out to the woods and all that stuff, but the asphalt trail, and it's just a little bit more than 2 miles all the way around. And you can walk that trail, and there's a natural tree canopy that covers almost 90% of that trail. So if it's 90 degrees outside, once you get into that trail, I think it's called the Harrison Trail, it's about 10 to 15 degrees cooler because all the trees. But if the mosquitoes like you like they like me, they do, then you need to put on some deep woods repellent or something because they're going to be coming after you and some other insects. But if you put on that deep woods off and any kind of repellent like that, it'll help you to get through it pretty easily. And then I really like it out there at Fort Ben Harrison. There's an $8 a car charge to get in. I buy the annual pass is 50, I think it's about 50, $55 because I go so often, almost every day. So my pass pays for itself. But out there at Fort Ben Harrison, just off Post Road there, it's an incredible trail. It's worth the $8 if you don't want to get a pass. Invest in your health though. Invest in your health. That 50 or $55, I don't recall immediately what it is, but it is well worth it. You pay it one time, they give you a card, you don't have to wait in line. You just hold your card up, you get right in there. And plenty of parking, and the trail is not crowded because most people are not into fitness. And you have all the nature out there and the birds and the squirrels and the chipmunks and the woodpeckers and just all kinds of other animal life out there. There's a nice lake out there that's really nice. It's just really nice. And another thing I like about it is that there are a couple of bathrooms. So those of you who are a little north of 50, if you got to use the restroom, because you got to stay hydrated, which means you might have to use the restroom. And they've got a couple of them along the trail. There's one at the start of the trail, and then when you get about a mile and a half into the trail, there's another one, and they're always clean. Well, I would say 95% of the time they're clean. The only well, I think all 99% of the time they're clean, except for the one that's right there when you start the trail, because there's so many people down there using that one. Sometimes that one is not as clean, but they do a good job out there. So kudos to the state for keeping that park and the bathrooms as clean as they do. But if you should have to use a restroom, there's a couple of restrooms. I mean, it's just great. It is just great. Take my word for it. And get out there. Get out there and walk it. You don't have to do the whole 2.5 miles. You can walk about a quarter of a mile or so, and then it cuts off, and you can come right back to the start. And then you can start walking a little bit further. You can walk a mile, or rather, walk about a quarter of a mile and then come back a quarter of a mile. Just be careful if you do it that way because there's cyclists out there sometime. But it's a great trail. It's a really great trail. They've got benches just in case you get tired and you walk around there and you need to sit down, you can. It's great. But you are your best. I'm saying all that to say you are your best healthcare provider. Nobody can take care of you like you. And you have to start today. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about last week or last month. And you can lose pounds. Walking will help you reach your goals. It will keep you healthy. It will lower your heart rate. All of those different things. Because now, if you got to go to the doctor, you have to wait a long time because there's a shortage of doctors. Doctors are getting out of the field. In fact, my doctor that I had for a long time, in fact, I had a doctor when I was about 19, started getting physicals, Dr. Adair. He closed his practice. Insurance premiums were too high for him and his wife. They were doing a practice together. Then I went to Dr. McDougall, who was with IU. I thought I would have him for the duration of time that I'm on the planet. He retired, and he didn't seem like he was old enough to retire, but he had a grueling schedule. And now I have a new doctor. His name is a little harder to pronounce. But I didn't get to see him. I got to see a nurse practitioner. So, nurse practitioners, and I want to say to parents who have children, uh, young women and men, but especially the young ladies, encourage them to become nurse practitioners. Love RNs, registered nurses, CNAs, but the NPs now. And I didn't hear about NPs until about 2 or 3 years ago, but they are right up there with the doctors and they can write prescriptions and different things like that. So encourage them to perhaps go into that area of the medical field when they get out of high school. And I think there are some programs out there that they can get into that can help prepare them for that because we're going to need them. We're going to need them. And we still need doctors. We still need doctors and anesthesiologists and all those kinds of folks. But moreover, all of that, take care of yourself. Eat some fruits, eat some vegetables. I picked up a really cool blender from Costco. They've got a few more left. I might go get another couple of boxes. Costco has a blender now, a little Ninja, and it has a handle on the top. And you charge it the same way you do your iPad or your iPhone. Has a lightning charger on it, and it is so incredible. I can load it up with kale and spinach, and I can load it up with strawberries and tangerines and watermelon, and I can grab the handle and walk right out the door and put it in my car. And then later on, pour some cold water in there and press the start button, and it blends through ice and everything just so well. It's quiet. It is an extraordinary device. I can rinse it out, and then I can go into Kroger or Meyer, buy some fruit, put it in there, reload it, and have some more juice. So and the box is about 60 bucks. And get this, two blenders come in one box. Two for one. Two Ninja blenders. Two Ninja blenders for 60 bucks. And they work extremely well. I've been enjoying mine. So I hope that and I'm not selling these for whatever company. I don't even know what the company is, but they've got a few more boxes left, and I'm going to probably pick up two more boxes because I got some ideas for doing some juicing at the church for folks this summer, so that when you all rush out there and get your box, you can buy the box. There's two. Keep one for yourself and give one away. That's an act of kindness, and that's part of the Isaiah 58 fasting, to be kind, to do generous things for other people. And that's one of the best way to get your greens and your fruits and vegetables. Put it in that blender, hit the button, and you can drink it right down. 317-480-1310. 317-480-1310. Been talking about fitness. Get it in today, 15 to 30 minutes. Do whatever you can. Do something. Do something. Inside, outside, however you do it, do something. I'm going to take a quick break here in a moment. And when we come back, going to talk about what's happening with alligator Alcatraz. I am not at all in agreement with this deal that they're doing out there in the Everglades. This alligator Alcatraz. We'll talk more about it when we come back. In January 2025, the Eaton fire devastated Altadena, California. There are just a row of cars, all just crispy, burnt up. The seats gone. Altadena After the Fire is an Urban One podcast dedicated to chronicling this community's journey towards recovery. We are also supporting the Brotherhood Crusades Wildfire Relief Fund. To contribute and make a difference, please visit brotherhoodcrusade.org. Altadena After the Fire is available wherever you get your podcasts. Car wrecks don't just happen on weekdays from 9 to 5. That's why Isaacs and Isaacs, we don't keep bankers hours. We work weekends. And we're ready to fight for you. One call, that's all. Just click to get help quick at wewin.com. That's wewin.com. Listen to Eastern Star Church, 9:15 a.m. Tuesday through Thursday, and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on Praise Indy AM 1310 and 95.1 FM, where Reverend Jeffrey Johnson is the pastor. Welcome to M&S Mr. Discount, where quality meets affordability. Hey, it's my first time here. First time? Hey, everybody, first timer. Yeah, first timer. M&S Mr. Discount has flooring, appliances, outdoor equipment, furniture. And if you think quality costs an arm and a leg, you're about to be proven wrong. Hey, first timer, there are 3 locations in Indianapolis. One on the east side at English Avenue, and inside El Portazo on the west side. And the brand new location at the intersection of Harrison and Colescott in Shelbyville. And new specials are always rolling out. It's like a surprise party for your wallet. And if installation Speaking of which, what aisle are the hammers in? Just starting project. They're right over there. Brenda will take care of you in just a sec. We're almost done. Go to HimenezMrDiscount.com or just pop into one of the locations for quality without the budget hang. Jimenez Mr. Discount. Agnes was in deep trouble with the IRS. I owed the IRS a lot of money. I did not know what I was going to do. I was scared. Agnes caught a break and found out about Optima tax relief. But when I called Optima Tax, they guaranteed me that they were going to help me out the best that they can. And they did. Optima stopped the IRS. No more telephone calls, no more letters. Optima Tax took care of everything. I can finally sleep at night. I was stress-free. Agnes was finally free from her IRS nightmare. It was like a burden was lifted off of me. And it was a great feeling. Are you in deep trouble with the IRS? You might want to listen to Agnes. I would refer Optima Tax Relief to anyone because they got me debt-free from owing the IRS more money. Call Optima right now for your free consultation. Call 800-356-9883. 800-356-9883. 800-356-9883. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Hey, Mark, about 1 minute. To talk to you about some COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk. Boy, you sound like a commercial. I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19. I promise, if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options. Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer. July 23rd, it's True Crime Community. 30 seconds. For my man. Referring to me murder, I'm facing 30 lines. Loyal. Me and my man are in this together. Ride or die, bad girls. She was willing to do whatever was necessary to support her man. Don't miss True Crime every week with the season premiere of For My Man, Wednesday, July 23rd at 9 on TV1. All right, welcome back. And we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. And for those of you who are streaming, thank you for being on with us all over the country and different parts of the world. Streaming on my Facebook page, James William Jackson, also the Fervent Prayer Church Facebook page, and my YouTube page, James Jackson. So tune in. You can see who's saying what they saying by going to the stream. And thank you for being with us here on AM 1310 and 95.1 FM, Indy's Inspiration Station. The number to call to be a part of the show on today is 317 480 1310. Again, that's 317 480 1310. Lock it in. 317 480 1310. Easy to remember. Alligator Alcatraz. I think the name alone is enough to let us know that this is not a good idea. So President Trump and company are detaining thousands of illegals. And in that number, there are some people who are probably not illegal. They have to be processed. And people are being rounded up who are thought to be illegals, asked for their identifications to prove that they are American citizens. But we'll get to that in a moment too. But these detention centers, and this one particularly in Florida known for its beaches, sunshine, and hospitality, but behind a chain link fence in the quiet town of Glades County, in the rural facilities from Broward to Baker, thousands of men and women will be or are living out a different story, one of detention, uncertainty, and hope suspended. And just to know that it is called Alligator Alcatraz, and if if anyone ends up going there, the psychological oppression, knowing that you're there and there are people, we're all different. The anxiety, and it's women and men and possibly children. I'm not sure on the children, but just the psychological oppression if you end up going there, wondering if you'll end up in the water and eaten up by alligators is just awful. And I think it is important to protect the borders. I think it is important to have a system where you can make sure that everybody who is here needs to be here, or should be here, rather, I should say, legally. But these kinds of things can spiral out of control very quickly. And some might say, in their opinion, it is already out of control. And when I first heard of alligator Alcatraz, I thought of Auschwitz, Dachau, the Germany concentration camps. And this is not being called a concentration camp. And concentration camps were for political prisoners, Jews, different kinds of folks. And it was just terrible. And many of you all know what happened, extermination of so many Jews. This is not what alligator Alcatraz is intended to be for. But the problem is, you have a place like that, you call it alligator Alcatraz, laugh about it, and boast how wonderful this thing is going to be. And then you put people in charge of it. There are what the Bible calls cruel and unreasonable people in the world. And some of the folks who are going to be in charge of that are cruel and unreasonable people. Just putting a law enforcement uniform on somebody does not make them right. It does not make them a good person. It does not make them qualified to do anything. And you run into some problems when you're out there in such a remote location and you have folks who are responsible for detaining other human beings. And there are people who are going to be detained who don't want to be detained. And all kinds of things happen when that starts happening. You remember how things went sideways in Guantanamo Bay and the things that came out of that. Horrible things that were being done to the prisoners there. Hopefully, none of that will happen at Alligator Alcatraz or any place else that folks are being detained. Hopefully, it goes as some are reporting, but we know that it usually doesn't happen that way. Want to get your thoughts on it. Want to hear what you have to say about it. And again, these are Florida's immigration detention centers, places where undocumented immigrants, asylum seekers, and individuals with pending legal status wait, sometimes for weeks, maybe for years. 317-480-1310. Going to Larry, Bob, then Mayhem. Larry, welcome to the program.
How you doing now, Pastor Jackson? Hey, you know what? These people have a choice. They can self-deport, take their families, get $1,000 apiece, move back to Mexico, live like a king for a while, and then go ahead and get back into freeing their country and stopping all the corruption. That's what they need to do. When we talk about our government trying taking these people out of here that Joe Biden let in, you can see it in the streets all the time. Why would you let desperate people in your country with no wherewithal, no anything to support themselves, and then act like you ain't paying the price to support them with Social Security, food stamps, and everything else, and housing too? So we just need to get these people out of here, get them back to their own situations so that they can fight for our freedom. America is for America. And birthright citizenship, there's no such thing. And we know that. They've taken that out of context and played on emotions, just like Ketanji Brown. She's totally unqualified and an embarrassment, worse than Camilla Harris. So, we need to come to reality, Pastor Jackson. When we allow people like Roland Martin to come and speak at our meetings, he's nothing but a clown. Go to YouTube and look at some of the garbage that he's putting out there on our people and some of the clowns he has in there with him. Just look at them. They're telling black people, you don't need to work, young man. You don't need to go out there and get you a job, Learn the work ethic so you can support your family and not have to look like a fool when you don't know how to do nothing. Tell them that they don't have to work. People need to work, Pastor Jackson. That's the bottom line. These people that are going out here trying to have these conferences and sell dope, that's all they're doing. The bottom line with them is to get a 15-year on 2 or 3 medications and then get him for severe depression and give him 2 Prozac pills a day. And the pills, Prozac pills cost almost $27 a piece. So, we need to start thinking work is the only thing that works in America. It's about the amount, and until we understand that, we can just forget about it. Forget about it. Thanks, Pastor Jackson.
All right, Larry, thanks for your call and comment. Certainly, jobs are important. There was a young lady who posted that her dad had died, and he was a long time brick mason. And I remember when masonry work was the work that Black people did, particularly Black men. My mother's cousin, her husband, was a mason, a bricklayer, and they were really skilled in that area. Now, if you go on a lot of these job sites, you're not going to see young Black men and or women out there on these job sites, even on the highway. Billions of dollars are being spent on our highways, 465, all of the work that's taking place at one time many years ago. It would be $1 million a mile to do road work like that. That was several years ago when I looked into that. Several years ago, over 10 years ago. And I would estimate that it's more than $1 million a mile. And sometimes I slow down. Of course, you have to slow down that section over there if you're going towards Keystone Crossing, Meridian, out that way going west. The speed limit is 45 miles an hour, and they've got some eyeballs watching, and they'll send you something in the mail. I got a couple of warnings when they first put it out there, and then I got it together, so I go slow. But anyway, even before that, I'd slow down and look to see the ethnicity of the people working on these roads. And you don't see a lot of Black faces out there. You go to some of these apartments that are going up. They're going up all over Marion County. They're going up over in McCordsville, Cumberland, other places. A lot of them's going up. Who's doing the framing? Who's doing the drywall work? Who's on the roof, putting the roof on? Jobs. Late Bill Crawford, when we go to concerned clergy meeting, he would come in. He was one of the greatest representatives Indiana have ever had. He was over the Ways and Means Committee for a long time. He was a brilliant man. And he would come into the meeting saying, jobs, jobs, jobs. I'd have to agree with it. But when you go out on these sites and you don't see Black people framing, putting the brick on, laying the concrete down, I mean, almost the whole job. You look out there and you see that, and it's happening. And I get manicures because I take care of myself. From time to time, I get a pedicure. And you go in, and what do you see? There's more than 300,000 Black people in Indianapolis. We got to start doing things different. We got to support each other. We got to start businesses. We got to go and we got to encourage our kids. When we find out that so and so's got a business over here, so and so's got a business over here, we got to encourage them. Go support that business. Go buy from them, and then make sure that our Black business owners are being treated fairly. Because in the beauty supply industry, Black beauty supply industry owners are not treated the same as other ethnic groups. When I was told that, I wanted to find out, and it's true. I got to fact check it, and it's true. I did. They're not held at the same financial standard, and it's hard to operate as a Black beauty supply store in Indianapolis because you're going to have to pay a lot more money to be in that business than some other folks do. So we're going to have to talk to our people. We're going to have to encourage our kids. Go over here and support so and so. They got a Black on this, or they got a Black on that. And then they got to see us doing that too. They got to see us doing it. 317-480-1310. All the lines are full. So let me get in here We're going to start with Bob, then go to Lisa. Bob, welcome to the program.
Mr. Jackson, first of all, have a great, blessed, and highly favored, healthy weekend to you, your family, your church folks.
Thank you.
You mentioned, I agree with what he said, the content or context of this call, because the book that you teach and preach out of every week, twice a week, three times a week, I can't give you chapter, verse, and book. It says if you don't eat, you don't work, or vice
If
versa.
you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah, New Testament verse. Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to debate that, they need to talk to their maker. Anyway, not to be critical of you because you do a great job, and I have the utmost highest regard for you.
Thank you.
There's no such thing as an undocumented immigrant, and let me explain that if I may. You are an illegal alien, is what it's called. No such thing as an illegal immigrant, and documented immigrant. It's illegal alien. Anyway, getting on to the subject at hand here about the alligator Alcatraz.
Mhm.
That's not exactly a Four Seasons hotel there.
No.
And like, the old saying is, if you can't do the time, then don't do the crime, and don't be whining about where you're serving the time. And this is the people that end up there. And I'm not saying this is a blanket statement, black, white, political. There's no time and space for that. This is something that whoever the culprits, whoever commit these offenses or whatever it might be or not be, they need to think about this stuff beforehand. Okay, and like sit around here just full of self-hatred, committing all these vicious and barbaric acts and crimes and everything else. And I think I made my point there. And
All
the
right.
situation we go. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
The situation happened in downtown Indy last week. Absolutely senseless, heartless,
Mhm.
and shameless. But the spectacle about it is it's not what happened, but where it happened. Okay.
Yeah.
But and you've heard me say this before, and I'll wrap it up here in a few seconds. Until young people, especially, actually everybody, has a sense and awareness of immortality and self accountability for their own doings, it doesn't matter. I'll leave it at that. Have a great weekend, sir.
All right, Bob. Thank you. Lisa, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Pastor Jackson.
You're welcome.
I'm the type person, I'm different than the first those other two callers I just heard, because I believe that facts matter, and with all the propaganda and everything that's going out, and if you are have any kind of common sense or any education, you know that the United States is full of immigrants. Now, I do not like the term illegal aliens. There's no such thing as illegal aliens. There's undocumented people that are here. And some came in the correct way, some came in the wrong way. But they're all due a time in court. That's what should be happening.
Mm.
Now, for those callers, at least the first one, that Larry, I think he's mental, something's wrong with him. And the Trump administration, along with Trump and his followers, I I just think about John 8:44. Because like people are out here and it talks about who, because everybody does not belong to God. The devil has his people as well, and those people are of Satan. So it breaks my heart when I think about not only this Alcatraz foolishness, but everything that's going to hit Americans. Period. He got in on a lie, and the lie should be found out by now, but still, there's some people that are still brain dead and does not realize that this man is so dangerous. He needs to be replaced. Those are my comments, Pastor Jackson. You can agree or disagree. I really don't care. But as I said, facts does matter. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome, Lisa. Appreciate it. Thank you for your call and comments. I don't like alligator Alcatraz. A lot of these things are just how they're presented, documented, undocumented, illegal, legal. or illegal aliens and things like that, and names that they come up with it. But that whole alligator Alcatraz thing and putting alligator on there, I think was a mistake. I don't think there needed to be anything added to that. Alcatraz, in my mind, growing up, was not ever a positive thing. I think they could have changed the name for the whole place. But anyway, somebody will end up in the water, unfortunately. And we'll hear some bad things come out of that. 317-480-1310. We're going to go to Dwayne, then Mayhem, and then Guy. Appreciate you all holding. The lines are full today, so thank you for your patience. Dwayne, welcome to the program.
All right, thank you for having me. This I've got a couple of quick statements. 'Cause I'm a black tradesman, and what you said about having blacks in the trade, it is rare because it seems like they don't want to put that effort or that labor. We got this social media that's making everybody think they can be influencers and they can make money, and a lot of this stuff is propagandized and things that's not really helping our youth. Even when we was growing up in the '90s, we had all these programs. Part of the 2000s, we had the JAWS program at the end recorder. We had a telecommunication program through the IBE. I think they still have that program. I mean, it's just a lot of things that they take away from our community, and then when things like this happen, then they like, well, what are we doing? Let the parents and the kids not really get the parents got to be held accountable. But we also, as a community, got to start, putting back into our community, as everyone's been stating and saying. And then my last comment was, well, the question was, you was mentioning something about the fruit ninjas, and
Yeah,
I want to know where you get them, and
yeah, I got mine at Costco.
okay,
And if you have a Costco membership, you can get in there. If not, it's pretty inexpensive, but they have a lot of good deals. And right now, there were a lot of boxes there the other day. Two for $60 is a good deal. They're quiet. They charge up. You can charge them up in the car, man. I mean, it's really great. And you take it to work with you, load it up with some vegetables and fruit, pour some cold water in there, enjoy, rinse it out. And then on the way back home from work, stop by Kroger, Meyer, or whatever, buy some fruit, put it in there because they have cut fruit now, which I think is great for those of us who don't do all that. And it's just great for your health. So I know Costco has them. My daughter bought one, but I don't recall where she got one, but she paid more for just one. So Costco is about the best thing going.
okay, thank you. I do appreciate that. And like I said, me being a small business electrical company and it is hard to get these young kids or get black workers help at all. So,
All right. Well, thank you. And hopefully we can get that turned around. Mayhem, Mayhem, you're next. Hold on. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, Mayhem's going to lead us out. Then Guy will be back after these messages. Are you looking for a source of inspiration and uplifting content? Log on to praiseindie.com for your all things positive and empowering in and around Indy. Whether you're on the go or relaxing at home, Praise Indy brings you the latest in gospel music, community news, and inspirational stories that touch the heart. And don't miss our Listen Live feature, now available on all mobile devices. Stream the best in gospel music and enlightening talk shows that keep you connected to the pulse of our community anytime, anywhere. Feel the spirit, share the joy, and be a part of something truly special. Visit us online today at praiseindie.com. That's praiseindie.com, where faith and community come alive. Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty programs
Subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.
Ladies, we're bringing free mammograms to you.
30
for 3
seconds.
days only, July 17th through the 19th, 3
I
p.m. to 5 p.m. at Lily
Your
Corporate,
kidneys did
South
not
Street,
fail?
Alabama Street.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be here.
I don't like it. I don't know.
Kidney failure. You're not going to be on the air.
Right. Exactly.
That's immediate death, I think.
I feel crazy typing in this. I was like,
What? My kidney never.
right. God forbid.
Maybe she was talking about something else.
Yeah.
Or somebody else.
Yeah. Like just in general. Like what do you do in that instance or to prevent that? So here we go.
All right. To prevent kidney failure?
Yeah, basically. Crazy.
All right, we're back. I think we had a caller wanted to know, what do you do to prevent kidney failure? One, drink a lot of water. And two, make sure you're getting regular physicals and a blood work, because in the blood work they're going to have some metrics there as to how your kidneys, liver, and other functions are doing. And if you catch it early, you can prevent the failure. But kidney failure would result in death if you are not taken care of right away. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know everything about it, but it's a serious situation. You can't live without kidneys. People have kidney transplants. You can live with one kidney, certainly not losing two. But to prevent it, plenty of water, fruits, vegetables, and annual physicals with blood work. Go on to Mayhem and then Guy. Mayhem, thank you for holding. You there, Mayhem? Yeah, thanks for holding.
We got a lot of, I'm not going to say they saved or unsaved. We got a lot of religious people quote the Bible, try to benefit their point. The Bible is not to prove your point. You're supposed to prove the Bible's point. And when people call in and quote scripture out of context, it just makes us wonder. And I wonder because I heard a commercial about people dealing, with mental problems and stuff. I hear all this talk. But we have a lot of people calling in that need help, and then these people that talk on these commercials, do we help the people that call them every day, begging, need help, but you want to get mad at them and hang up on them and ban them, but these people are crying out for help. I know one person, she's been calling Sister Amos, saying the same thing. I think Amos been calling for 5 years. She need help, but none of the host notice that she need help. So I wish you could start having a clinical psychiatrist come on or something, because the callers need help. And we crying about the children. Let me ask you something real quick, because I know everybody got on the gun thing and the low percentage of children out here killing. It's not the number one death of human beings in America, suicide and fentanyl. I mean, no, the number one. And what's the number one death of unborn kids? Isn't the number one one that kill babies or black women? What's the percentage of that? It's more babies. I know people don't like the way I'm saying it, but when you have something God gave you that live inside of you, and you so-called kill it. That's what the Bible said. But it's not the number one ethnic group that kills babies in America is black women.
You're asking me?
Yes, I am.
We do have a high percentage of abortions among black folks. Yeah, but all ethnicities have them.
But the number one is black women, though.
I don't know if black women are number one. I'd have to look at the numbers.
Yeah, people need to look at the numbers, but we are crying and got people running on the radio because of the couple shootings downtown. But the number one is black women killing babies. Number two, fentanyl, and then number three is suicide. But we don't never talk about that. But every time a so-called low black percentage of somebody do something downtown, oh, the world is going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
We being deceived. And what's bad about it, people on this radio are deceiving the black community. You got a Zionist come on in the morning, you got two white boys, the so racist, and then you got the hate show to come on 1 to 5. Stop it.
All right. All right, man. Thank you for your call and comment. Yeah, it's hard to determine what ethnic group would be number one in abortions because we have this new thing called medical abortions or chemical abortions. It was called chemical abortions, but they changed the name to medical abortion because chemical abortion sounded too much like chemical warfare. And there are just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of medical abortions every year. So it'd be difficult to determine who's number one in that. However, according to the CDC, heart disease is number one cause of death in America. Cancer is number two of all types. Unintentional injuries, which would be car accidents, overdoses, falls, which I alluded to earlier. Chronic lower respiratory diseases like COPD, stroke. And we talked about that at the top program. You're your best healthcare provider. Take care of yourself. Thank you. We're quickly running out of time. We're going to try to get through all of these here callers that we have left. Guy, and then we're going to go to Greg, Ann, and then Anonymous will take us on home. All right, Guy, welcome to the program. And thank you for holding.
I just want to say a couple of things that you mentioned as far as the medical question. It would be good that people might realize that this coming Thursday, the Minority Health Fair at Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration starts.
Yeah.
And runs through the weekend. So this will be a great opportunity for those that have medical questions because there'll be medical experts there that can answer their questions as far as also test them. Just wanted to point that out. Also, Larry, he has some good points, but from past experience knowing Larry, it seems like he's been hypnotized lately.
If if you would stay off of actually mentioning people. If we could stay on topic, I just not everybody agrees with Larry, but it's radio, it's free speech, so I allow him to say his say, and I even tell him, let's not talk about each other.
Yes, I think you.
Per se. I'm just saying, from my experience, it seems like he's been hypnotized. But anyway, also I wanted to say that a lot of people talk about workers in the black community and people not working. We've always had workers in the
Yeah,
in the
you
black
can give me that
community.
one.
The big issue is do they get paid for their work?
Is that the one you want to have?
Several years of slavery where
Is
Yeah,
that the one that you want me to
didn't get
text
paid
you
for
or the
the we,
cover?
we had work. In fact,
for 240 years. Yeah,
yeah, and there were blacks that built the White House.
yeah,
There were and various things.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to getting paid, that's when the guilds and the craftsmen and the unions tried to discourage black people from being in it. Also, black farmers, for instance, they don't get their fair share of help that other farmers do. So we have a lot of problems with a lot of them are because of discrimination, and that's
yeah.
why you need diversity and equity and why it's important. But at any rate, I just wanted to say also that when it comes to looking at the black community, there's a book called Black Like Me
Hmm.
that a lot of our European listeners might want to check out. It's
All right,
by John Howard Griffin, and it kind of gives an insight in terms of some of the things that people will
all right,
probably go through.
all right, Guy. We got to move on. We got a lot of folk. Thank you, Guy, for your call and comment there. And I agree with you. If you don't want to call it reparations, call it back pay. 240 plus years of free labor, we built the infrastructure for America. If it had not been for black folks and indentured servants working in the tobacco fields, there would not have been enough money to build the infrastructure for the states across the Union. That's another show. We're going to go to Greg, then Ann, then Anonymous, and we only have about 4 minutes left. Greg, going to give you a minute. Welcome to the program.
I'll make it quick. Guy kind of stole my thunder. I was going to talk about Larry, but I know we live in a country that the First Amendment, I believe, is freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But I come from the same church background, Pentecostal Assembly of the World, as Christ Temple that Larry did, and I just can't understand why some people can be so negative and other people. I've always been an optimist and look at the glass like it's half full, and then some people perceive it as being half empty. But anyway, it is what it is. That's my comment.
All right, Greg, thanks for your call and comment. Go on to Ann, then Anonymous, and I'm going to give you about a minute.
Yeah, and I was asking you because I remember you said you had a kidney scare, so I was wondering what did you do?
Oh, yeah. Well, what happened? I was taking Mike Tyson's supplement, and his supplement, I didn't know when I started taking it a couple of years ago, was high in creatine. And creatine, in and of itself, is a pretty good supplement for bone repair, collagen, different things like that. But he had a pretty high amount in there, and I wasn't aware of that. So when I went to get my physical, and my blood work came back, my creatine levels in my kidneys was high because your kidneys produce natural creatine anyway. But as we get older, those amounts decrease. So I went home. I was concerned about that. So I went home and I looked at the packaging and I saw the high number and I stopped taking his supplement. And when I went back to get my physical, my creatine levels and kidneys were back where they needed to be. That's what that was all. That was what that was all about.
Okay, so they said I had a little, that they was telling me to watch my kidneys. I was like, I think 3 or something like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah, lots of water, and I'll have someone, a wellness coach, come on and talk more about that. I have a wellness coach, and there's a lot of them in town. We'll talk about that issue to help you out. Okay.
all right, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Anonymous, about a minute and a half. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I want to make a comment. The man that called and said, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Mhm.
That's taken out of context. Back in the time, back in the 50s and 40s and 30s, during the time people take the Bible and have taken the Bible to justify hate. And they took the scripture, the Tower of Babel, which was really meant to confound the languages because they wanted to be like God, not because he wanted to separate them. They took that scripture and went around mentioned black men and trees, talking about we're supposed to be separate but equal, to justify hate. I can't justify hate using the scripture. He took it out of context. People have a right to eat. Babies have a right to eat, despite what their parents do. Jesus was a God of love and compassion, and that's what he was about. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, Anonymous, thank you for your call and comment. Jesus said, the poor you always have with you. So, therefore, based upon the Bible, we always need some kind of poor relief program. Kudos to all of those of you who are out there fighting and doing what you can to make that happen for people who don't have as much as others. Parents, please make sure you know where your children are. For all those under 18, make sure that when the sun goes down, they are where you know they are, or at least they are with you. We really need your help with that. Please don't drop your children off late nights downtown Indianapolis and just let them out. And I've seen that happen last year myself. It's just not a good thing, the things that are happening down there. But we'll talk more about that at another time. Shay's on the controls. Thank you all for your calls and comments. Thank you for those of you who are streaming. Until next time, from all of us here at Praise AM 1310 95.1 Indies Inspiration Station, we like you. We love you and you make us smile. Have a great day.